Hi friends, today I am working on an acrylic mixed media canvas piece, and I'm starting out this piece using a canvas board and just some bluish teal acrylic paint. And all I'm doing is just laying down a solid layer of the acrylic paint to start out with. I'm adding in some dots of, I believe this is just like a pink that I made. I also made a mix of a purple. I add in some yellow and some red, and I believe some a little bit darker blue at some points as well. Oh, and then there's also a touch of orange in here as well. And all I'm doing is just adding these dots in, and then I'm just kind of blending them into the background of the canvas. Some of the background blue had already dried, so I'm just going in with some more blue and just trying to help blend those colors out a little bit better. Once I'm happy with that part of the background, I'm going in with some different shades of green. I have sort of a lighter tone, a medium tone, and then a darker tone green. And then I'm also going in with a little bit of yellow, and I'm doing the exact same process. I'm just putting down some dots and blending those into the background. The only difference is I'm really focusing these on the bottom for more of like a foliage look. So with this you can make it as dense or as thin as you want it to be. I wanted mine to be really well filled in, and I wanted to have some other interesting colors in there. So you'll see that I add in some yellows, and the yellow I really played off of the green color, so that's in quite a bit. But then I also added in a little bit of red and a little bit of blue just to make it look a little bit lush and overgrown. You can see I spent a good deal of time working on the greens to really get it to where I wanted it to be. If you make any mistakes, you can just very easily go in with the background blue color and just thin out some of that if you think that you've gone a little bit too heavy. You definitely do want to see a little bit of the blue coming through, but for the look that I have here, there really is quite a bit of green and a lot of different shades to try to keep it very interesting. Now I'm going in with some stickers that I found in the scrapbooking section at Hobby Lobby, and these are some fabric stickers that have a little foam sticky piece on the back. They had a little gem in the center, but I wasn't crazy about that, so I just cut that piece out, and I'm using some matte medium just to stick these to the canvas. And then I'm gonna water down some acrylic paint to get almost just a thin, almost like a dye out of it. And I'm just going to tap that along the edges of the fabric on the flowers. If you're not able to find these same flowers or something like it, you could very easily just cut a circle out of a piece of cardboard, and then with some hot glue, you could take strips of fabric and just create this exact same effect. Once I'm happy with the flowers, I'm going in with some Holtz tissue paper, and I wish I had put this on before I even did the background blue, and that way this would be layered underneath those colors, but I didn't think about it until later on. So now I'm just going in and adding the Holtz tissue paper on top, and once the matte medium that I'm using to stick it down is completely dry, I'm just going to go in with my acrylic paints. I'm going to make sure that they're really well watered down so that you can see the tissue paper through them, and I'm just going to add a little bit of paint on top so that it looks like they are underneath all the layers. So I'm starting out with some of the blue that is the same as the background color, and I've just added a little bit of water to that to thin it out so that a little bit of that tissue paper is peeking through. And then I just go in and add in the little pops of color back on top where they would have appeared if I had stuck it down in the first place. Now I'm going in with my Tim Holtz stencil. This is the Burlap stencil, and I'm using my modeling paste just to create some texture in the background. This modeling paste dries pretty quickly, but I'm hitting it with a heat gun just to make sure that it's completely dry before I move on to the next step. I'm taking my Faber Castell big brush markers and I'm just barely touching the edges of the fabric that's making up the flower, and I'm just doing this to add just a little bit of shading to the edges and make the flowers a little more interesting. I'm using the same markers just to go around the edges. At the top I'm using a blue that's very similar to the background and just adding some shading to kind of frame the piece. And now using a clean dauber, I'm adding more of the same marker to the dauber, the green down in the grass area, and then blue for the background and sky area, just to make the modeling paste a little bit more cohesive with the background. The ink that I'm using is Dylusions Ink Spray by Ranger, just to add some speckles around the background. And then I'm also going in with my white India ink and adding some white to it as well. And now I'm using a green acrylic that I've watered down just very slightly to make it a little more fluid, and I am going in and adding the stems and just some random pieces of tall grass and other you know, tall flower stalks to the piece. And that's it, guys. This is the finished piece. I hope you guys enjoyed and got inspired. If you recreate this piece or have a piece that you create that's inspired by this, please make sure to post your pictures to Instagram, #SimplyColorfulLife. I would love to see what you guys are creating. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have an awesome day. I'll see you later. Bye!